Hello guys, buenos días, buenas tardes, or buenas noches. Welcome to our ninth virtual class. And today I've decided to change things up a little. We're going to do some vocab, and then we're going to do a short and I hope interesting listening exercise. Okay? So today's topic is fairly simple. It's food vocab, or in Spanish, vocabolario de la comida. Okay? And I'm simply going to start by giving you a table. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize all these words. Just keep them in mind for this particular exercise. Okay? And before I start reading them and giving you the meanings, I want you to notice that in this vocab list, I am doing something that I said I would be doing when I gave you the last vocab list. For example, look at the first entry. It says la comida, which means food, right? And I'm not only giving you the word comida, which is the one that means food. I'm telling you that it is la comida. What is that la? Well, it's the definite article. La comida translates, if you translate the article as well, as the food, right? What is the reason why I'm doing this? Maybe some of you might remember that I told you I would do this with vocab lists once we learn the articles, because this is the best way of learning words in Spanish. You learn them with their definite article. Why? Because this gives you their gender, right? If the article is la, it means the word is feminine. If the article is el, it means the word is masculine. So for those of you who want to continue learning Spanish, you will notice that professors and teachers will constantly refer to the words as in Spanish as a combination of an article and a noun, and that is the reason. And that's the way you're supposed to learn them. When you start memorizing vocab lists, then you will memorize both article and noun, right? And then when you're trying to think of the gender of a word, you will know it automatically because you will have learned it along with its article, okay? So again, those words here preceded by la are feminine. Those words preceded by el are masculine, right? This also helps us with several of these words that end in consonant, right? So we don't know their gender just by looking at the ending, right? Okay. So I'm going to pronounce these for you, and I'm going to give you the meanings. La comida means food. La pasta, fairly easy, means pasta, right? El arroz, that means rice. Notice the rolling R's. Arroz, right? El arroz. La sopa, that's soup. La carne is meat. El pollo is chicken. Notice that double L sounds J, right? El pollo. El pescado, that's fish. La leche is milk. Notice and remember that CH sounds ch, right? Just like in English, so la leche. El huevo means egg. The H has no sound, right? It's not el huevo, it's el huevo. El pan is bread. El queso is cheese. El bistec is steak. Las verduras is vegetables. Yes, I'm giving you the plural here, right? La verdura means one vegetable, but just like in English, you tend to use this noun in the plural. You say verduras instead of verdura, right? In English, you tend to say vegetables or veggies, right? Because basically you're referring to a group of several types of food, right? So las verduras is vegetables. La ensalada is a salad, very similar to the English. Similar also is la fruta, which means fruit. La galleta is biscuit or cookie. La mantequilla, that's butter. Long word, I know. Mantequilla. La mantequilla. El cereal is cereal. Notice that we write it exactly like we do in English, but the pronunciation is very different, right? Because the vowels in Spanish sound different and they're all open. So, cereal. Cereal. That's a good word to help you practice pronunciation. El cereal. El dulce, right? Or los dulces. Some people use the plural, some people use the singular. That means sweet treats, right? Los caramelos means candy. El azúcar, that's sugar. La sal means salt. La lechuga is lettuce. El tomate means tomato. For the next one, I'm giving you two words, basically because there's one that we use in South America and then another one that is used in Spain. La papa, or la patata, that's potato. Papa is for South American Spanish. Patata is for Spanish from Spain, right? Or Iberic Spanish. Notice for the South American version, papa, that's very different from papa. Papa, with an accent at the end, means dad, and papa means potato, or pope, in fact, right? So that accent is very important. Papa means potato, or patata. And then las papas fritas, that means fries. Very, very creative. It literally means fried potatoes, right? Papas fritas. Okay, so this is just a small selection of basic food vocab in Spanish, right? But what I'm most interested in today is our exercise, right? Before I introduce the exercise, I'm going to remind you of a few more words and expressions that we have studied in the past and that will be very useful for the listening, okay? So gustar means to like. I hope you remember that verb. I hope you also remember that it's used in a peculiar way, right? But for the purposes of this exercise, just remember that le gusta means he likes or she likes, right? And you would say le gustan if it's more than one thing that is being liked, right? But le gusta, he likes or she likes. Mucho means a lot. And then two more verbs. Amar means to love and odiar means to hate. Both of them are simple, regular ar verbs, right? They follow the pattern. So that is just background for today's exercise, which I hope you will find interesting. What we're going to do today is fill in this table. You will see that it has 4 rows, and in each of those 4 rows we have a name: Carla, Enrique, Dominga, y Silvio, right? And for each of the names we have 3 columns that we need to fill in with information. We have le gusta, which means he or she likes, right? No le gusta, which means he or she does not like. And then plato favorito, right? Favorito, I think, is very easy for you guys, right? Favorito means just favorite, right? And plato means dish. So plato favorito, favorite dish. Basically, what I am going to do is show you pictures of these 4 people. And as you look at the picture, I am going to read slowly and carefully a very short text in Spanish using vocabulary from the vocab list of food that I just gave you, and using some of these expressions like mucho, le gusta, no le gusta, amar, odiar, okay? And your job is to listen very carefully and to fill in this table with the correct information. You're basically trying to find out what these people like to eat, and that's what you would write in the le gusta column. What they do not like to eat, and that you would write on the no le gusta column. And then their favorite dish, with which you would fill in the last column, right? As an additional way of helping you, I'm going to tell you that all the texts that I'm going to read follow the same structure. They start by telling you the person's name, then they tell you what they like, then they tell you what they dislike, and then they give you their favorite dish. Okay? So they follow exactly the same order, all of them, as the one you find in this table. Okay? And as a last recommendation before we start, one that I already gave you when we did a couple of these exercises in the in-person part of the semester, during the in-person part of the semester, don't freak out if you're not understanding everything, okay? Because that is not the goal. This exercise is about strategic listening. You're going to listen to a bunch of things that you might not understand, but the goal is to find out this basic information: what they like to eat, what they don't like to eat, and their favorite dish. And of course, this being a video, you can play it again a number of times, right? That's totally allowed. As you listen repeatedly, hopefully you will find it easier, right? But I do think these will not prove too difficult, okay? So we're going to move on to the exercise, and I'm going to try to make my pronunciation as clear as possible. Número 1. Ella es Carla. Le gustan mucho las verduras. Come mucha ensalada, mucha lechuga y muchos tomates. No le gusta la carne. No come cosas que provengan de animales. Su plato favorito es el sushi vegetariano. That's number 1. Número 2. Él es Enrique. Le gusta comer dulces. Ama los caramelos. No le gustan los tomates. No le gustan las verduras. Su plato favorito es el helado. That's number 2. Número 3. Ella es Dominga. Le gusta mucho la pasta. Espaguetis, lasaña, raviolis con todas las salsas, boloñesa, carbonara. No le gusta la comida americana. No le gustan las hamburguesas. No le gusta la pizza. Su plato favorito es la lasaña boloñesa. That's number 3. Número 4. Él es Silvio. Le gusta mucho la carne. También le gustan el pollo y el pescado. No le gustan los platos vegetarianos. Odia la lechuga. Su plato favorito es el bistec. And that's number 4. Again, what do you have to do with this information? Listen to each of these as many times as you need and fill in a table just like this one. Le gusta means he or she likes. So in that column, please fill in with what the person likes to eat. No le gusta means he or she does not like, right? So fill in with what they do not like to eat. And then for the last column, their plato favorito, their favorite dish. Okay? You can send me the activity either in an electronic file in any format that you prefer, or a picture taken with your phone or, your laptop's camera, your tablet's camera, whatever, of whatever you have at hand, of a notebook or a piece of paper where you can do this by hand. Okay? I hope that you find this little change in the dynamic of the class a little bit interesting. Um, Honestly, I think I already told you this uh, when I filmed the first video. I'm not a fan at all of online instruction, and particularly for language classes. I think that for actually learning a language, a foreign language, it's absolutely necessary to have some sort of direct human interaction in that language, and hopefully as often as possible, right? So this is definitely not the ideal medium for my class, but of course the circumstances force us to find alternatives, and I really, really wanted to do something focused a little bit more on the actual language that we're supposed to be learning, as opposed to explanations in English of the grammar, right? And I wanted to do something with listening. So I hope you found this interesting and useful. I'm eagerly waiting for your files, right? And as always, don't worry about deadlines. Just send me the files whenever you can. But do take into account that the end of the semester is approaching, right? It's in the middle of May. And I do have to submit final grades. I'll let you know the deadline as soon as I know the actual deadline, but it's probably going to be around the 20th, 22nd of May, right? So I do need all your stuff before that, or at least a majority of the stuff, right? So that we can make sure that you will get the good grade you need. Gracias y hasta luego. Bye bye, guys.